Let's start with Taiwan's special defense budgets. You recently urged Taiwan's legislature to pass the special defense budget as soon as possible. What signal do you think Taiwan's current deadlock over budgets send to the international community?
As I've said many times, that national security shouldn't be a partisan issue. And Taiwan's political party, both ruling and opposition party, should stand in unity when it comes to the national security threats as well as the defense. And the current budget deadlock is creating a confusing signal to the international community, particularly for those in Washington, D.C. I think the deadlock and the delay in passing the defense budget has both created some sort of vacuum for Beijing to say that Taiwan is not serious about its defense, and also Taiwan is underprepared when it comes to the national security. And more importantly, to Washington, it is sending Washington a signal that Taiwan is also hesitant in defending itself.
So Taiwan's main opposition, Kuomintang, today proposed a $11 billion special defense budget, plus an additional flexible amount that could be used to fund any future U.S. arms purchases. What's your take on this?
Technically, this is not really a legit bill. First of all, it is addressing the $11 billion that was announced by Trump administration in January. And that's not really something that is future looking. It's something that has already been allocated and already been announced. So it is dating back to what has already been announced, and which is not really a budget to say. And secondly, the technicality of Plus N is really questionable. We know that it takes time to manufacture weapons, to also prepare in a supply chain allocation of the other equipment and stuff. It's not like you order something from Uber Eats. You order and it comes. It's not like that. And in fact, I think it's a very terrible bill that would not help Taiwan at all. It is creating a false signal to Beijing that we only want to basically look at what's in front of us, but we don't want to prepare for the future. So that gives Beijing, a clear signal that, hey, you can come to invade us tomorrow and we won't have anything to defend ourselves.
So in your recent U.S. Congress testimony, you emphasized the importance of protecting Taiwan's undersea cables. Can you walk us through why this matters not just for Taiwan, but also for the rest of the world?
In the case of the undersea cable today carries roughly the 97% of world's data traffic. And Taiwan has 24 cables connected throughout the island, and also it carries the semiconductor manufacturing data, the financial transaction, government and military command and control system. And all of this is related to the survival and essentiality of Taiwan. So for that to be cut, and also once it's cut, it's very hard to repair. And Taiwan does not have a cable repair ship. So for those who are being cut, and we've already identified 2 or 3 cables that are being cut since 2 or 3 years ago, those have not been repaired. So constantly, it also creates issues for global internet data traffic, and plus the other financial transactions as well. Then it's also becoming a global geopolitical flashpoint.
Since gray zone operations has been so difficult to prove and legally also challenging to make a case, what do you think Taiwan can do better to respond to this kind of activities?
Again, what China is trying to do is to create what I call a fait accompli, basically establish a fact that anything happened in the Taiwan Strait is considered an internal affair. So to them, this cutting cable, creating confusions to allies, and then calling it an internal affair is basically also making it very hard for international community to react and respond. And also for gray zone activities and warfare, there isn't any international law regulating such behavior. And so the actors that are carry out these malicious behaviors are also disguised in fishing boats or commercial cargoes, and also I noted in my testimony that sometimes they cross-registered in a different countries' registration, and all this just trying to be difficult for any legal authorities to regulate them. And for Taiwan, obviously we have enforced through our Coast Guard, but it's not that easy, as this type of gray zone activities oftentimes happened in the area where you face a difficult challenges to really arrest them or to take action on them.
You've recommended that the U.S. pass a Taiwan Undersea Cable Resilience Act. And also from last year, we've seen Taiwan also amended its cable-related laws. So from your perspective, what are some of the remaining gaps in international laws when it comes to protecting undersea cables?
As you have mentioned, we have enacted the cable resilience law in Taiwan, and either increase the penalty or make it a criminal activity if there's any sort of a cable damage and sabotage. But that's not enough. As I've mentioned, some of these damages and happens in an area that is, first of all, gray zone, and secondly, it's in international water. So the Taiwan jurisdiction doesn't really apply when it's happening in international water. So that's why in my congressional testimony, I call for U.S. to establish the Taiwan Undersea Cable Resilience Act, basically authorize the Congress to mobilize the resources and also criminalize the activities that would impact the global cable infrastructure. And secondly, to basically develop joint patrol with Taiwan and allies. For example, Japan and Taiwan Coast Guards should develop a joint patrol programs. And thirdly is for some of those militia boats or fishing boats or the cargo ships that are disguised in the commercial activities or unregistered or registered with a multi-domain should be brought in for further examinations as to why it is conducting its routes in a very ambiguous way and sort of things. And thirdly, Taiwan should develop its own indigenous cable repair capacity. In my opinion, we should, in the next 3 to 5 years, at least to have one cable repair ships so that we can repair our own cable, and to ensure that we have some redundancy. Once the cable is cut or damaged or sabotaged, we be able to preserve the data, or at least have some secure storage of those data.